This video is sponsored by Arcane, the League of Legends animated series whose first act is currently streaming on Netflix. Hello hagglers and Hextech himbos, my name is TBSkyne, and in conjunction with the release of Arcane, Riot reached out and asked to sponsor a few videos about the series. Specifically, they said they wanted to make me their official inventory explorer for the series. They want me to make videos looking at the weapons, outfits, hairstyle, makeup, objects, trinkets, gadgets, gear, and gizmos in the show. In other words, they've given me an excuse to talk about character design, so hell yeah, let's go! Now I'm still recovering emotionally from the end of Act 1, they really throw the kitchen sink at us there, but I think an instructive place to start is with clothing. When designing characters, fashion is an incredibly powerful tool to denote everything from mood to disposition to class position to ambition. Take a look at these three, for example, Milo, Powder, and Clagger. These are poor street kids from the slums of Zaun, and that heritage shows on them in an interesting way. Asymmetry. For example, Milo wears different shoulder pads on each side. On his right shoulder, there's a clasp. On the left, there's a strap. On his right leg, he has a knee pad. On the left, he's got a bandage. On his right arm, a leather harness. On the left, he's got a white bandage glove. With Clagger, similar story. He wears an asymmetrical shoulder strap, a vest with an uneven hem, and on one arm he has leather straps, while on the other, just a sleeve. Powder is third verse, same as the first. She wears a bracer on one arm and a long glove on the other. She has uneven stripes on her undershirt. Her sleeves are different lengths. Her vest is uneven, and her pant legs don't really match. Piltover is visually deeply symmetrical. Its buildings and houses are organized around strong geometric shapes in symmetry. Zaun, on the other hand, is almost entirely asymmetrical. Its forms and design language is fluid, rough, and often quite wonky. As Emily Rand pointed out in an excellent blog post, where Piltover is organized around the stringent geometry characteristic of Art Deco, Zaun is organized much more around the naturalistic curvature of Art Nouveau aesthetics. So keep the Zaun kids in mind, and take a look at Jace and Victor. Their fashion isn't ostentatious, but their outfits are fully symmetrical, as are the clothes of Mel and Caitlyn, and all the counselors at Jace's trial. Symmetry is all over Piltover's fashion, and for good reason. It's generally visually pleasing, of course, and it's also often very hard to achieve. It is the visual language of precision, of exacting measurements, of balance, but also a visual language of painstaking work and artifice. So, it lends itself naturally to the aesthetics of opulence and of wealth, but also of technology. So, the asymmetry of the Zaun kids' outfits not only connects them visually to the visual language of Zaun, it also makes everything they wear look more handmade, more scrappy, and more shoddy. It looks pieced together from whatever is available. It looks, well, cheap. Meanwhile, the immaculately symmetrical tailoring of the Piltovans, whether in the haute couture of Mel or the humbler outfits of Jace and Victor, associates them with Piltover, with technology, and with wealth and power. And to go for a little bit of an interpretive reach, it's interesting that of all of the counselors, Heimerdinger is the one who has a bit of asymmetry in his fashion. His coat doesn't quite close across the middle symmetrically, and there's that little flap at the top conspicuously left undone. Almost as though perhaps the professor who mournfully remembers a time when the two cities were one has just a little bit more of that uneven Zaun spirit in him. Along a similar vein, on the other side of the river, look at Silco. His disfigurement makes him permanently asymmetrical, and by the way, that's a problematic design trope, like denoting a villain by disfiguring them. It's something we should maybe not do as often as we do, looking at you, the entire James Bond franchise, but anyway, his disfigurement makes him physically and permanently asymmetrical in an extremely visible and very notable way. Now, no character in the show so far has articulated quite as profound a hatred for Piltover as he has, and yet, how does he choose to dress? In well-tailored, highly symmetrical, expensive fashion, just like the Piltovans. He does not dress like a Zaunite, he dresses like the thing he hates, because as much as he hates Piltover, His ambition ultimately is to become like it, to wield the same kind of power, to enjoy the same kind of, as he puts it, respect. Changing gears, let's return to Powder and Vi. The sisters are central characters to the show, and their designs reflect their roles and their story arcs. Of the two of them, Powder is more chaotic in her design, especially her rough-cut hair, haphazardly styled with clips, gives her a frazzled edge, like something chaotic being held together with fragile supports. Her colors are darker than Vi, and her outfit is generally more unbalanced and asymmetrical. The electric blue of her hair, along with the bright neon pink accents and purple stripes over her dark base color, connect her to Zaun, a city of neon lights and darkness. Meanwhile, Vi is notably dressed in much more muted and natural colors, browns and whites with some bits of dirty yellow and a bit of maroon. And, as is especially visible in one of the first scenes of the show, this connects her visually more to Piltover, the bright city in the sunlight, which also features broadly more natural and muted colors than Zaun. That shock of pink hair and the asymmetry of her outfit still makes her a Zaun kid, of course. It's not like she doesn't look like a Zaunite. Clagger and Milo have natural colors in their outfits as well, but the two sisters are notably and visually drawn to each of the two cities. The color contrast between them also does something else, of course. Vi's more muted color palette also reflects that she is the calmer person. She's the big sister acting as leader of the group and the emotional anchor for Powder. She's the one who always has her head together, the one who takes responsibility. Meanwhile, Powder, with her more volatile colors, is also the more volatile person. Which, she is the sister who builds bombs, of course, but as we see throughout the first act of the series, if not for the stabilizing influence of another person, Powder has trouble holding it together. Whether that influence is Vi or someone else. Hey, thank you very much for watching. This video was sponsored by Arcane and Riot Games in extension, so not going to do a bunch of self-promotion. I have a Let's Play channel and a Shorts channel. There's different kinds of content over there if you want to do that. You can like, comment, subscribe here if you're so inclined. And please remember to wear a mask and wash your hands. Yeah, I know, but even still, take such vaccines as are available and are necessary. Get your flu shot, actually. Get your flu shot. It's a good thing to do. Having the flu sucks, and you don't want to pass the flu on to someone else. Well, ever, but especially not right now. And try to act with solidarity towards those who are worse off than yourself.